Lights go up, the crowd's in a buzz. Hawk talk, start from mighty thud. Voices sharp like a razor blade. Breaking news like a wild cascade. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. Post on fire, you can't deny. Hot take sharp with no alibi. Game analysis deep as night. Get ready for an epic ride. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. We call the plays before they happen. Feel the rush as the crowd is clapping. Stand tall with your team above. Hawk talk anthem, feel the love. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. We're the free. Set you free. We're the voice that sets you free.
Woo! All right. Wild card weekend almost over. If the Texans win by 10 tonight, I have got some money coming my way. The only game I missed was Jacksonville and Buffalo yesterday, which, man, let's talk about Saturday. Let's go down the list. Comment on each one of the games, and then we'll get into some off-season stuff and the head coaching news and other things. So number one, I told you guys to watch out for the Panthers. I said absolutely take the points. 10 points was way too high. The Panthers fight. The Panthers have a lot of heart. They need one more draft class and probably, I'm going to say 2 or 3 free agents. Definitely on the defensive back end. J.C. Horn needs help. Jackson is absolute garbage. J.C. Horn needs help. Trevon, they spent money on. They need another corner to go with J.C. They need a true edge rusher. somebody they can put with Derek Brown on that side and just make it a stronger defensive line. They needed one or two more offensive line pieces, I believe. They spent some money on it, but they need a little bit more depth, need to be a little bit stronger. And it's going to be an interesting offseason. The Panthers, Dave Canales deserves a ton of credit. A ton of credit for what he's done with Carolina. Bryce Young was hands down the worst quarterback in the playoffs of the 14. Hands down, easy, not even a conversation. That team, I don't care about backing into the playoffs. The Seahawks did that too. Teams have backed into the playoffs before. Don't give me any of that junk. Steelers have done it before, okay? Multiple times. They won their division. They fight really hard. They're young. They got a lot of they got some future in them. And that's why Atlanta's got to get the coach right. Because if Atlanta's not careful, they're going to be the fourth best team in that division. Don't look now. The Saints, with Kellen Moore and Tyler Shugg, are going to win. They have got to reset their cap situation. I've said this for 2 years. They have got a rookie quarterback now. On a rookie deal, you got to be able to use them and not with these 35-year-old players. You need to get some 28-year-old in your prime players. Need to do what the Patriots did. Sign a defensive tackle like Milton Williams that can destroy an offensive lineman and seal a football game. So there's that. Panthers, I absolutely love. The Rams, Sean McVay is sometimes a little bit of a problem. He really falls in love with the pass. And I'm not sure if it's McVay or if it's Stafford changing out of the play. I don't know which one it is. The Rams have got the Bears next week. And this is going to be Ben Johnson versus Sean McVay. This is a huge game. Stafford did not play great. Stafford did not play great against the Panthers. The Panthers continued to show, just like they did in their first matchup, that the Rams secondary is a little bit suspect. Just a little bit. McMillan is a stud. Leggett, solid. Ian Thomas is their number one tight end. He's injured all the time. There's Tremble. They could probably draft a tight end and nobody would blink an eye at it. They'd be like, okay, good. That position's been in flux because of injuries. You need to lock it down. Nobody would blame them. So when you look at everything, Panthers deserve a lot of credit. 34-31 loss. The Rams weren't just, they're not as dominant. Their defense isn't as dominant. It showed up on that final drive, but I didn't really love the play calls from the Panthers on that final drive. I thought the play call should have been a lot faster, using Dowdle or Hubbard a lot quicker, but nonetheless. Then you get to Saturday night's game, Chicago and Green Bay. So we had game-winning touchdown drive by the Rams, defensive stop by the Rams as well on the Panthers drive. Then you had a game-winning drive by the Chicago Bears, a beautiful drive. I will admit it was a beautiful drive. Caleb Williams is going to frustrate the life out of Chicago Bear fans forever. He is not a top 10 quarterback. I'm tired of the whole top 10 physique, makeup, baloney. Give me a break. Ben Johnson turned him into a quarterback that can win a playoff game, but only barely. It took a wild comeback because of a stupid decision Caleb Williams made again. He made a couple of those Saturday night. And at the end of the day, Bears score a game-winning touchdown. They stop the Packers, and Jordan Love tried to fit it into that golden window and almost had it. Almost had it. That would have been wild. Wild. Bears fans are used to losing that way, but nonetheless, I loved it. Then you had Sunday. Oh, gosh. Jacksonville and Buffalo. If you didn't watch this game, you missed a team that's going to be at the top of the AFC for a long time. Jacksonville needs to switch out one of their offensive linemen. Then that's really about it. They got Greg Newsome for Tyson Campbell with the trade with the Browns, so that one works. They need another corner on the other side, which they can get in the draft. Jacksonville's here. And I don't know if you guys saw the reporter, the local reporter. Jacksonville is happy with Liam Cohen. They won the division. They got a home playoff game. They lost to the best quarterback in football, who is the only reason that team was able to beat them. Superman was in the building. And Jacksonville did not make it easy on him. Jacksonville is physical. They are tough. They are what I grew up watching. Most of you may not remember Byron Leftwich and that defense. Big old John Henderson, Marcus Stroud in the middle, and Mike Peterson, the middle linebacker. It was devastating. They were huge. Huge. Jacksonville always was so physical. You were tired after playing them, like the old Pittsburgh Steelers teams with Brett Kiesel, Joey Porter, Aaron Smith. They were just physical. This Jacksonville team, they hit on Travon Walker. They hit on Josh Hines-Allen is a fantastic defensive end. They need another defensive tackle. The pasture is calling Armstead. He needs to be a guy that's a change-up guy, not an every down guy. Jacksonville's here to stay. And Buffalo only wins that game because of Josh Allen. And listen, Buffalo gets the winning touchdown. Buffalo stops Jacksonville from a game-winning drive. That's the third game in a row in the playoffs that we had that. So, boom, 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 rolling down the row right here, okay? I did pick Jacksonville to win. Lost that one. I'm happy. Buffalo is my Super Bowl pick. I don't know where I'm going to land on next week's picks. We'll figure that out later. So then we get to San Francisco and Philadelphia. Okay. I picked the points. And I said there is no team in the playoffs that should win a game more than Philly, but could lose it more than Philly. I'm just going to read you the stats. We're just going to read the stats. We're just going to do that. We're going to let it go. Jalen Hurts, 20 of 35. 20 of 35. 15 incompletions. 168 yards, 4.8 yard average. Was only sacked one time. Okay? On the ground, you know that aspect of the game that Seattle absolutely bulldozed them over on, a week ago? 36 carries. You would think they'd be at like 200 yards, right? Nope, 140. They barely averaged 4 yards a carry. They got outgained. 328 yards is all they got on offense. 328 yards. Against a defense that is a bunch of backups. Robert Saleh is going to get a head coaching job. Whether it's after this coming weekend or in 2 weekends from now, he's going to get a head coaching offer. What he has done with that defense is no short of a miracle and amazing. Brock Purdy was 18 of 31, 262 yards. Really stupid interception in the beginning of the second half. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 8.5 yard average. Let's see. When you're averaging 8.5 compared to 4.8, normally you're going to have a little bit more success. Now, what was shocking more in this game is the fact that Philly had the lead and San Francisco dominated them in the fourth quarter. The team that was on the road that is hurt, George Kittle, I feel so bad. ACL, he's out for next year. I feel so bad. One of the best guys in the NFL that helps. I mean, he's part of Tight End University, helps all these guys coming out of school, helps the young kids. He took a page out of Peyton Manning's book with the quarterback camp, and he's got the tight end camp. Love the guy, love his energy, love what he does, feel so bad for him. They're without him. And they still came back. You have Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, a defense that's got none of their stars are playing. None of their stars are there. You're the defending Super Bowl champions. You lost at home in the wild card. This isn't Jacksonville. This isn't we got here. This isn't a losing to the best quarterback in the league. This is what the heck just happened? Now, I was immediately doing stuff during the game, after the game, looking stuff up. Philadelphia has contacted agents. I am surprised Sirianni still has a job. I am surprised. But I am also not surprised. What's going to happen is probably this, and I easily could be wrong. We have 8 head coaching positions open. We're going to get to them. We're going to rank them. Boom, boom. We're going to look at contracts, numbers, everything else. Okay? Excuse me. Would Philly actually be the best option? Now, if you're Roseman or, Lowry, you absolutely believe you're the number one option because of the talent, right? Excuse me. Are you, though? So I was thinking about this last night. John Harbaugh just got done coaching Baltimore, not far away from Philly. He has an opportunity to coach Miami, maybe the Raiders, Arizona, Tennessee, potentially the Giants. But New York and Philly would be a lot of the same. Who says he wants to be in a market like that now? There's an aspect of this. Andy Reid is in Kansas City. Andy Reid's not getting any heat from Kansas City. Philadelphia would be screaming. New York would be screaming. There is an aspect of where the job is matters. The pressure, the expectation, the fan base. What if you can go and legitimately, you're looking at two jobs, okay? They're side by side, okay? You got job A and job B, and you've written out everything. You have written out everything. Pros and cons are there. Everything is on your list. And you're sitting there and you're reading them and you're going, which job's better? If your pros and cons are job A, really high expectations that are hard to meet, short leash, unforgiving, lots of support, talent, but lots of drama. Or build everything yourself. Which job are you going to take? This one may be established, but it has all the downsides that come with a big organization. This one's homegrown and this one can be yours. And that's what I feel like these head coaching positions are going to come down to. Kevin Stefanski's been in Cleveland. Where does he want to go? Atlanta doesn't have a ton of expectations. They just want to make it to the playoffs. They're like the Jaguars. Just get us to the playoffs. Get us a home game again. That's all they want. Raheem Morris would still have his job if he wouldn't have made the playoffs. That's all they want. Arizona, make the playoffs. In the NFC West, that's impressive enough the way it is. Giants are kind of in that position of make the playoffs right now. Titans definitely are. Raiders definitely are. But you can build it yourself. And that's going to go into it. It's a job. Don't forget, it's a head coaching job. So when you're writing everything out, would Philly actually be on the top of the list? Listen, I thinking about it last night. Green Bay, if they would fire LaFleur, would actually be the number one option. It would. It would be the number one option. Storied franchise. Not emotional. Not emotional at all. Wants success, but understands what it is. Okay? John Harbaugh in Green Bay fits. Now, everything from this morning says they're going to try to keep LaFleur. He is going into the last year of his contract. So we'll see what happens. But if you're Philadelphia, and this is the playoffs, and this was the fourth game in the row on the weekend. Rams, Panthers, Bears, Packers, Bills, Jags, And then 49ers Eagles, game-winning touchdown drive. Game-winning touchdown drive. Then stopped them on defense. Playoff football is freaking fantastic. It was awesome. Everybody's worried about these matchups, and they produced great football games. That was playoff football all weekend long. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Everything about what this weekend is fantastic. You get to last night's game. I felt the Patriots were going to dominate it. I felt like what I really felt was that Vrabel was going to understand what he had to take away from Herbert. Patriots had 6 sacks. The Chargers had 5. Drake May was 17 of 29, 268, touchdown interception. Justin Herbert was 19 of 31, 159 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. What it really comes down to is Drake May and Herbert both ran 10 times. Herbert for 57 yards, May for 66. Stevenson had a decent night, 10 carries, 53 yards. As a team, the Patriots averaged 5 yards a carry. As a team, the Chargers averaged 4. And when it comes down to it, do I think New England is ready to play in a Super Bowl? Absolutely not. Did I pick them to win this game relatively handily? Absolutely. You want to know why? Because I trusted the more complete team. The Chargers, with Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, destroy the Patriots because they would not get any pressure if they had their 2 outstanding Pro Bowl tackles. But the reality is it eventually just stops. Winning 11 games with the way that offensive line was a success by itself for Jim Harbaugh. He kept the team together. Running backs out. Harris out in the preseason, didn't even play. Hampton gets hurt. Kamani Vidal runs the ball for this team. Amarian only had 1 carry last night. It was just odd. And right now, I do love the look of New England, the youthfulness, the energy. Mike Vrabel on the sideline. Tennessee's got to be kicking themselves. They're hiring another coach. And the coach that they fired because they didn't like the fact that he knew more football than they did and was bullish on how stupid their moves were, is now sitting in the divisional round in the playoffs in 1 season. Bad owners make bad decisions. That simple. It's that simple. So tonight we got Texans Steelers. I'll give you my picks and predictions here at the end of the podcast. All right, let's go into we're going to go into this. We're going to rate these jobs, okay? We are going to rate these jobs, and we're going to look at the stats that are behind them. So we got the salary cap space, and then we're going to look at the contracts, the potential contracts that each of these teams have that you're going to have to figure out what to be able to do. See, the problem is when you're taking one of these jobs, and I know most coaches don't really think about this, but having an idea of what you're walking into would be great. Like I said, the Indianapolis Colts job is not really that appealing. You don't have 2 first-round picks. So you don't have the ability to go get playmakers that you believe are playmakers. That's not really appealing. As a GM, your hands are tied because now you don't have any first-round pick capital to be able to go make those plays. So we're going to go down this list, and we are going to figure out exactly which team we think is going to be the best option right now of the 8. Obviously, I don't think McDermott's going to get fired. Unfortunately, and then maybe it's not really unfortunately, I think the Bills can go to New England. I think the Bills could go to New England, and I think the Bills can go to Denver. See, the problem with Denver is, and everybody said it all year, the problem with Denver is their offense isn't consistent enough. And if Josh Allen can play Superman in Mile High, now remember, I said this 8 weeks ago after they got run all over by the Bucs. I said, this team reminds me of a team I know very well, and that is the 2006 Indianapolis Colts. They remind me of that team. The defense is questioned a lot. And the defense came out to play against Jacksonville. And they're going to have to come out to play against Denver. It will be vital for them to come out and play against Denver. Said it all year. The defense is where it's at. The offense by itself cannot do a ton. Gabe Davis, unfortunately, he also out for the year now with his injury. So the reality is, I do think Buffalo can beat Denver in Denver, and it's because the offense hasn't been that sharp. The Broncos start slow, and you've got one of the best comeback teams in the Bills. Yeah, no. If the Bills can get up on the Broncos, I think they can force them into some mistakes. So we got everything set up. We really do. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. The matchups are going to be great. I actually love the Rams and Bears matchup. Can't wait to see that one. So I'll go over my picks and stuff for tonight here in a second. But let's look at everything as we have it right now. So the Tennessee Titans. Something that is definitely being overlooked by many, many people is the fact that they still have $96 million in cap space. Okay? They only have $535,000 dead money. So with $96 million in cap space, looking at their contracts, the biggest one right now is Jeffrey Simmons. He has, I believe he's got 2 years left on his deal. So he signed a 4-year deal in 2023 for $94 million, and it was a total of $60 million guaranteed. Okay? Jeffrey Simmons is a leader on this team. They've got all the cap space they need. They're not trading him. Calvin Ridley. This is the one I'm really interested in because they overpaid him, and he signed a 4-year deal in 2024. So he's got 2 years left on his contract. The guarantee is there's not much guaranteed money this year. So therefore, I could see Ridley being gone. I really could. I really could. The reality with this Titan team, they don't have a lot of money getting spent out. Cam Ward is cheap right now. Tony Pollard is going into the last year of his contract. Skoronski, Latham, everybody's cheap. Devondre Sweat. It's not a lot on there. Okay? They don't have a lot of wasted money in Tennessee. So if they could get a decent coach, and if they could really make some moves, Tennessee is going to be the team that I will probably look at as a potential, double their win would be actually really easy. So, easy double their win total. 6 wins would be a piece of cake. I would probably put them at 8 and 9 if they can make some moves. They got the money. They've got all the money they need. They don't have any horrible contracts. To me, the worst contract is Calvin Ridley. To me, that's the worst contract. And honestly, with the way you're going, his injury issue, his performance, I would get rid of him. I would move forward with DK, Alec, Chig, Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, and I would get you another receiver. Get another receiver to come in and help Cam Ward. One that can get open because Calvin Ridley had trouble with drops, and he's definitely got trouble getting open. Okay? So, Tennessee Titans overall, ownership, I think, is the biggest downside. Ownership's absolutely the biggest downside. So I'm going to give the Titans a solid B. The Titans are a B job. Young quarterback, plenty of room to be able to make moves. You got your capital in the draft, but the ownership has shown they ain't the brightest. They ain't the brightest. All right, so then we go to the Giants. I was looking at this. This is kind of interesting. This is definitely kind of interesting. So I was looking at all their contracts, and they got a lot of defensive players that are heavy. Defensive players that are heavy. So the problem they have right now is they've only got $5 million in cap space. So they're going to have to open up some money somewhere. Now I was looking at the contracts here. So we got Brian Burns isn't going anywhere. He's making almost $30 million a year. Andrew Thomas, definitely not going anywhere, left tackle. Dexter Lawrence, probably not going anywhere. Paulson Adebo, who they just signed, probably not going anywhere. Javon Holland, they just signed, probably not going anywhere. Darius Slayton. I would get him out. He was not the receiver Wan'Dale Robinson was, and he's definitely not the receiver Malik Neighbors is. I would get him out. Now, I would also get out Devin Singletary. I really would. I would also get out Devin Singletary. Russell Wilson's a free agent. His $10 million already falls off. If you get rid of Slayton, that's $12 million. If you get rid of Singletary, that's $5 million. So that would be an extra 17. That'd give you $22 million. But you've got Jackson Dart. You've got Abdul Carter. You've got a decent offensive line. You don't have a bunch of expiring contracts. You got your early round pick. You got the ability here. You really do. You got the ability. The downside, again, ownership. That's the downside. And you don't get to bring in your own GM because Joe Shane, although he's decent, if he clashes with the coach, it's not going to go well. So, overall with the Giants, I give them a B+. They've got more pieces than Tennessee does. This team has the ability. Scatterboo injured, Neighbors injured. Unfortunately, that's becoming a trend. Make the trade for Jalen Waddle. Make the trade for Keon Coleman. Get a second receiver, third receiver to go with Wan'Dale Robinson, Neighbors. Theo Johnson's a good tight end. Clear out the space. Get Slayton out of there. Well, don't worry about Russell Wilson. Get Singletary out. Open up some cap room and do what you need to do. So I'm going to give it a B plus. That's where the Giants are at for me. Now, when we look at the Raiders, this one is actually a little bit different than I thought it was. So everybody knows who the most expensive contract is for the Raiders, right? Wrong. Okay, I should say wrong. If you said Geno Smith, you're right. You said Max Crosby, you're wrong. Geno Smith, basically, Geno Smith will not be on the team after this year. There's no way. This is kind of just one of those average salary $37.5 million for Geno Smith. $37.5 million. They've got $89 million in cap space. $89 million in cap space. I have said this, and I'm going to stick to this because I said it. Raider fans would scream at me. I want to point out what the Cowboys were able to do. I would trade Max Crosby. I know. He is beloved by Raider Nation. He bleeds black and silver. He bleeds the silver and black. But he has had some injuries. And is he going to be the thing right now that puts you over the top? The answer to that is no. Look at what the Cowboys did with Parsons. They got 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. They revamped their defense, starting with the middle. Can you stop the run? Max Crosby. Max Crosby is a great end. Outstanding defensive end. Is he going to help you stop the run game? I mean, is he going to help you stop how everything is? He can put pressure on the quarterback. Right. He can put pressure on the quarterback. But we really looking at just that? He's not going to make a difference. You look at the defense. Overall, the defense wasn't horrible. The Raiders averaged allowing 318 yards a game. Actually, not horrible. They're in front of Carolina, they're in front of the Rams, and they're in front of the Lions. Not horrible. They averaged allowing 201 yards passing through the air. And they averaged allowing 117 yards on the ground. The issue is they averaged allowing 25 points per game. Overall, Max Crosby is not going to help this team win. They need an offense, and they need to be able to make moves. If you can get 2 first-round picks and a defensive tackle, the level of Kenny Clark, a veteran to be able to help the new guys, and I know Max Crosby is, but somebody who's not $35.5 million. I would trade Crosby for 2 first-round picks and a defensive tackle and shore up the middle of my defensive line. Stop the run. I would then continue building what I need on the offense for Mendoza, Genty, Bowers. You need to buy whatever offensive lineman you need to make that offensive line work so that Genty is not hit an average of 1.8 yards after getting the ball. If he gets the ball 3 yards back in the backfield, he doesn't even make it to the line of scrimmage before he's hit. That's how bad that offensive line was this year. They need to spend the money on the right place. Mendoza can help you win. Get him a receiver. He's got Bowers. He's got Genty. Do what you need to do and make a move. Now, the ownership situation scares the life out of me. Got the number 1 overall pick. They only get a B. The Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, I will tell you, the grade is an A. They are an A grade, but they do have their downfalls. I actually put A- on this because the downfalls are real. What is Lamar Jackson's actual health going to be? That's a big question. All your money is also spent on defense, a lot like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, Metabuke, Marlon Humphrey, Travis Jones. A lot of your money is spent on the defensive side of the ball. You don't have a lot of wiggle room. The Ravens have $21 million in cap space. You can make moves and fix it. But old Derrick Henry in your backfield. Lamar Jackson slightly questioning what's going on. Zay Flowers is decent, not great. And every bit of money is spent on, the defensive side of the ball. Malachi Starks, the safety, absolutely amazing. Broderick Washington, defensive lineman. It's all defense. Nate Wiggins, defense. Eli Gilman, defense. Van Noy, defense. Draymond Jones, defense. And the defense really is one of the things that they struggled with. Yes, injuries. But, there needs to be a leveling out here. They got to even the field here. Like, they got to level this a little bit. Ronnie Stanley is the highest offensive player not named Lamar Jackson. And behind him is Mark Andrews, the tight end. Like, Tyler Lindenbaum is up for his first contract extension. He's going to get it. But we got to even it out a little bit. We really do. You got to even it out a little bit. I know they love their defense in Baltimore. I know they do. But Roquan Smith is not Ray Lewis. Man. So heavy on that side of the ball. So heavy on that side of the ball. A-. Ownership group, fantastic. GM, really good. Support, amazing. Not a dumpster fire. You're following success, that's a slight downside. John Harbaugh had a lot of success there. Injured quarterback, giving it an A-. I am giving it an A-. Another team I'm giving an A- is the Atlanta Falcons. And here is why. They got $22.5 million in cap space. $22.5 million in cap space. But listen to the contracts. This is really weird. So Kirk Cousins is still the most expensive contract there is. Still. How they did all that restructuring stuff, like I told you, I don't understand it. His guarantee was only $100,000 of the $180,000 he signed for, and his first 2 years were supposed to be fully guaranteed already. They were supposed to already be paid out. That was supposed to be $90 million already paid to him. So I don't get why they can't just cut him. He has no more guaranteed money. They made it guaranteed. I just, how this is going to work out, I don't know. We got to wait and see. Jake Matthews, the left tackle, 22.5. Chris Lindstrom, the guard, 20.5. Hey, it's the right side of the ball. A.J. Terrell and Jesse Bates are the two first defensive players. And then you got the right tackle. So the left tackle, the guard, and the right tackle are three of the top 6 paid players for the Atlanta Falcons. That's the right side of the ball. That is why Bijan Robinson can run rampant and run rampant very well. He's going to be coming up for a contract here next year. Michael Penix, I don't know what's going to happen. He's been injured. I'm not going to go one way or another. Drake London is up for an extension this year. He's going to get it, and he should. Kyle Pitts already is sitting there up for an extension, and he should get it. So they're going to have to get rid of all that money from Kirk Cousins. That stupid signing deal that they did with Kirk Cousins. That was one of the dumbest free agent signings. I don't understand why anybody, after his injured season, why they even, I don't get it. I don't get it. But nonetheless, I love this job. The A- is simply because of the quarterback situation. The money is spent on the right side of the ball. The offensive line is top 10 by PFF and top 10 when you use your own dang eyeballs. The offensive line is not the problem. The defense under Jeff Ulbrich with Jalen Walker and James Pierce is much better. They got the rookies on the back end, Xavier Watts. They got A.J. Terrell on the outside, Jesse Bates being that leader in the back end. It's an A-. It's really simple. It's not complicated. Then we go to the Cardinals. Yes, the podcast is going to run long today. Hopefully you guys don't mind. Hopefully it won't go more than 15 minutes over. Their biggest issue right now is very clearly Kyler Murray. Because they got $27 million in cap space. But if they get rid of Murray, guess what? They'll have a lot more. And by a lot, I mean 46 million more. So he signed a 5-year extension back in 2022. It runs through 2028. Okay? So it's going to be a trade. It will be a trade. Josh Sweat is the second one. What's the issue for the Cardinals? Here you go. Josh Sweat, linebacker. McBride, tight end. Budda Baker, safety. Jalen Thompson, safety. Marvin Harrison, rookie deal. Receiver. Then you get the right tackle, Jonah Williams. Then you get the defensive lineman, Dalvin Tomlinson. Then you get the left tackle, Paris Johnson, which is on his rookie deal. The money's not spent on the correct side of the ball. The guards are like down between 12 and 15. Arizona doesn't have a lot of flexibility because of Kyler Murray, but I put it as a B+ because, like I was saying, job B, you can build this thing. You can switch this around. Jalen Thompson is going to be a free agent. You can trade Budda Baker. Teams will take him. He is still highly, highly productive. Highly productive. And I'll be honest with you. You got to get rid of James Conner. That's $9.5 million that you can save. James Conner's got to be gone. James Conner has to be gone. Period. All right, so that's the Cardinals. The Dolphins. Oh, gosh. Okay. I struggle with this one really bad because I look at the whole entire team's makeup. I look at everything. Guys, do you realize the Dolphins are already $20 million over the salary cap? They got $35 million in dead cap. This is such a hard job to be able to figure out. Tyreek Hill is way too expensive. He's $30 million. Jalen Waddle's $28 million. Their first offensive lineman is Austin Jackson, $12 million. Guys, it's not good. 3 of their offensive linemen make more than the rookie contract. The dead cap is what's killing them. And Tua is $53 million. I don't know what's going to happen with Tua. I really don't. The owner will give you the ability. He's got money. The owner will give you the ability to sign whoever you want to be on your staff. Money will be no object. But the mess you've got to redo. You got to trade Bradley Chubb. He's $18 million. In my opinion, I think you should trade Minkah Fitzpatrick. He's $18 million. Tua, Tyreek, Bradley Chubb, Minkah Fitzpatrick would be the players that I would get rid of. Those are the players that I would move off of. You gotta have cap space. You're negative $20 million. Like this, that is taking the Dolphins' job. I've got it as a C plus. I know that's low. You're like, that's lower than everybody else. Yeah, because I don't think Miami's that great of a job. I think a guy like John Harbaugh could make it work. Brings in the GM from the Packers I'm sure he's a smart guy. The Packers are very intelligent people that come from that organization. Very intelligent, thought out, analytical people. They diagnose issues and they figure out what's going on. No issues with that. It's a mess. There's a lot of dumb contracts on here. Greer was a horrible GM. Greer was an absolutely awful GM. Absolutely awful GM. So I gotta say, I mean, the Dolphins are a C plus, even though I think Stefanski and Harbaugh are probably going to take it. But I really do. I just think it's a C plus. It doesn't scream, oh yeah, take this team. Doesn't scream that. Definitely does not scream that. All right. Cleveland Browns. Very simple. I give them a B because it's Cleveland. Ain't going to lie. I give them a B because it's Cleveland. The reality is Deshaun Watson is still the most expensive, and he has a fully guaranteed contract through the end of next year. He's got one more year on that stupid contract that the owner signed. It is the owner's fault. Don't let him try to tell. No, Stefanski didn't want him for 5. No. Nobody wants to sign a contract with no flexibility. All right. Joel Bitonio, guard. Jack Conklin, tackle. Wyatt Teller, guard. Cam Robinson, tackle. I do believe this team needs to move off of Cam Robinson, which they will because he only has a 1-year deal. Joel Bitonio may retire. I hope he doesn't. He is an outstanding offensive lineman. But if he does, they will have holes to fill on their offensive line. And I do think they have an opportunity to do so. I really do. As far as the cap space is concerned for the Browns, you're looking at already negative $15 million. But you do have fat you can cut off. The Deshaun Watson thing, we know they can manipulate stuff. They can figure out what to do. There are plenty of expiring contracts. We'll have to see what happens, how they make everything play out. Denzel Ward's got 1 year left. Denzel Ward has 2 years left. Obviously, Myles Garrett just re-signed, but there is a lot of money top end, primarily because of the Watson trade. They do have $31 million in dead cap, though. But I think with what's there, that defense, if you're a defensive coach, you could make that place work. And I don't think it'd be that hard. I really don't. I don't think it'd be that hard at all. You could make that defensive place work in a heartbeat. I really believe that. All right. Here we go. Tonight, predictions. Well, I get those. Tonight, I've got the Texans. Hands down. I got the Texans winning by 10. I've got the alternate spread total of 9.5. I have the Texans winning by 10. I had the Texans winning, period. I don't think what happened last week, the Steelers' fluke win over the Ravens that had no pass rush, that wasn't Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. That wasn't D'Amico Ryans, who can get his guys just as charged up as Tomlin can. He's home. He's an underdog. I don't care. They've been home and an underdog in the playoffs before. I don't care. Texans are better. There's legitimate concerns about their red zone offense. They just don't have it. I was looking at them too, because I was already working on what would happen. I was looking at them too. Yeah, all their money is sitting on the defensive side of the football, but difference. Their defense is number 1. Ravens are bottom in 20. The Texans are number 1. So, yeah, it's worth it. And they do. If they want to open up cap space, Danielle Hunter can be moved off of. You can move off of Danielle Hunter. Christian Kirk's contract is going to be expiring. You've got players you can move off of 100%. And the Texans are currently at $3 million in cap space. You're just fine. You are just fine. Just keep rolling it. Keep going. Tonight, I got them. I got Texans knocking them out. And then the Texans go to New England to battle the Patriots next week. And we'll get into all that stuff, obviously, as the week goes on. All right, guys. That's going to be it for me. Today on a Monday, playoffs have started. 4 games with game-winning drives and defenses stopping the offense on the comeback trek. And then 1 game where New England really just felt like they were in control. They really did. So tonight, we'll see what it is. But it's playoff football, full swing, wild card playoffs done. We got a week from tonight. The Hoosiers play for the national championship game. I still may call in for that night. I haven't decided yet. I may call in. I know. I want to watch that whole game, and I want to enjoy it, win or lose. I mean, I just want to enjoy the team that I have watched forever, that has sucked most of my life, all of my life, outside of the last 2 years and a couple years with Hefner and, the off and on upset abilities with Tom Allen. I just want to see them in the national championship game and have that be what we do. It's in Miami. It should be fun. Can't wait for it next week. All right, guys. I got basketball stuff we'll talk about tomorrow. We got trades that are heating up. Trae Young got traded. First domino to fall. The trade deadline is less than a month away. FYI, it is less than a month away. It's right around the corner. So we'll get into some basketball, check in on baseball, and we'll go over a couple different things. But nonetheless, guys, it's a Monday. Make it the best Monday that you can. Finish it out as strong as you can. And as always, I appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, share the podcast with a friend, and thanks so much for watching. Until tomorrow at 1 o'clock for Sports Talk with Hawk, I'm Hawk. I'm out. Have a great afternoon.